Why do phone calls make me so angry? Phone calls are the worst form of communication. The only time phone calls should ever be used are for emergencies, vulnerable personal business, breaking bad news over a phone, or comforting someone. Aside from these two options, phone calls are a horrible way to communicate. Text is far superior for professional communication. An example, your workplace calls you with the expectation you'll be glued to your phone and pick up. Problem is, you're making lunch, or in the bathroom, or doing literally anything requiring your attention. The call obviously goes unanswered, and both parties are frustrated, assuming you aren't dodging work responsibilities. Now, same example, different branch. Your work calls, you pick up, and they want you to take an extra shift in like 5 hours. Problem is, you don't want it, and you're going to be perceived as an asshole if you say no and you're already on the spot. Alternative? Just text. I can see if the shift works for me if you don't put me on the spot, and I can check my schedule, or just gauge if it's worth it for the money. And the employer? Sending a simple one-line text is much more efficient than a whole phone call, no? Text allows you to consider options, think through a response, possible decisions, and most importantly, respects your time. You can get back to a text whenever. You don't need to pick up right away. I usually see a text in less than 10 minutes of being sent, but miss dozens of phone calls just because I was in the wrong room. Email works just as fine too, but please allow people the luxury of corporate text instead of an extremely inefficient and annoying phone call. Edit to clarify, phone calls can be really good forms of communication, but only in specific circumstances where a long conversation or urgency is needed. I realize the title is misleading. I apologize. My biggest gripe is the inconvenience regarding the method of the phone call itself. The constant vigilance needed for calls, for example, not the phone call itself, but the very prescient possibility of a possible call. Phone calls are intrusive and demand your attention immediately. My problem is not the actual talking part. Using calls for information easily conveyed in a sentence is where it is grossly overused. Otherwise, summarize what you need in a quick, succinct text for both people's sake. Furthermore, no, I do not have social anxiety. I can talk to people fine. I work customer service in a semi-small community. This is purely hate for the craft.
I, 26F, think my boyfriend. In the time we've been together, his chronic pain. My 14 years old son ghosted. Yelk does not belong in scrambled eggs.